Right here for the fuel injector lab, we're going to be doing it on this 99 Acura TL with the 3.2. As you can see, the fuel rails are here. This is a returnless system. This is also sequential fuel injection, so there's a driver for each of the injectors. And as you can see, each yellow wire, just plain yellow wire, that is the power. The yellow and black will be a ground. So right there, this will be one of the things we should be back probed into. We're back probed into power. So as you can see, right now the car is off, so we won't see anything. But I'm going to cycle the key to the on position, and I'm going to see what happens. So right there we saw 12.4 volts when I turned the key to the on position with the engine not running.
Alright, so what we've got going on here is we're looking at the diagram here for the 99 Acura TL with the 3.2. And what we've got going on here is that you can see we've got 6 injectors here, of course 6 cylinders. And each one of these is going to be able to be sequentially fired by the PCM. So you can fire cylinder number 1 and so on and so forth, independent from the other cylinders. And if you look over here, we can see that our injectors are going to be low side grounded, although they're not going to be grounded to the PCM. Each one of these here is a different transistor for each cylinder. And you can see. Alright, so we're back here on the Acura TL, and what we've been doing here is we've been going through and ohming out each of the injectors, and we've been getting kind of a reading between 12.1 and 12.3 volts on each injector. We weren't able to find specifications, but I can assume, based off the fact that all of them are pretty close in resistance level, that
Okay, so here we have the multimeter hooked up, and we're going to see the voltage drop at idle and when the car has a load on it. So around idle, we're seeing 0.5-ish volts. It's going down to 0.3 volts. And Josh is going to give it a couple of revs. So right there we saw it was at 3-ish volts, 3 or 4 volts. So the more RPM, the more voltage drop it'll have. That's because the more on time the injectors are on for. And yeah.
So what we've got going on here is we've got this back probe into the driver circuit here for the ground. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take this little alligator clamp here and actually short this to ground here, and we're going to see if we can hear that slight. You should be able to hear that slight ticking sound there. That's actually the injector firing. So test works.
So right here we're on a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 4.7, and we're going to do some fuel pressure testing. So as you can see, we have our fuel pressure gauge hooked up to the test port right here. It's on the side of the fuel rail on the passenger side, and since we did key on, we primed the fuel pump by doing key on, engine off. So right now it's holding around 50 psi. Okay, so right now we let the Jeep sit for about 15 minutes, and right now it's holding at 30 psi. So that's our fuel pressure drop test. So right here we are on the picoscope on the Acura TL. So as you can see, the signal off because the car is off. Obviously, we have to attenuate it right there. There's the attenuator switch, so it doesn't blow the picoscope. So as you can see, we're hooked up. Actually, we went through the wire to get a better signal reading. Here's the ground, and we're gonna start it up and see what happens. So as you can see, this is where it's the on time. So if I just stop it right here, so this is where the injector turns on, and then the voltage spike comes when it's turned off, and this gap in between, that's when the injector is not running, but this gap right here, that's when it's on. So we're giving it a couple of revs. So as you can see, the sine waves got closer because the injectors are firing for a longer time, and yeah. So right now we have the amp clamp hooked up, and as you can see, on the picoscope is showing the red is the amp clamp reading. So right now we have it paused for the reading, and you can see it's hovering around 1 amp or so, just a little over 1 amp. This blue reading, this is for the injector itself. So as you can see, this section right here, that's its on time, and as when the electromagnetic field closes, this is what causes that voltage spike. So this is when the injector is off and it comes back down until the next cycle.